Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Weekend Walk and Talk podcast. My name is Dan Gilligan, and I am the owner of an IT company based out of Dallas, Texas. I started this podcast during COVID-19 while walking my dog Fiona. You can think of this as my diary of an IT business owner. While you're here, I hope you can learn something to make yourself better, or at least find it entertaining as I share the ups and downs of my journey. I originally recorded this episode February 27th of 2022. It's very unedited, so you are going to hear birds chirping, cars going by while I'm walking Fiona. During this episode, I go over why I decided to do this anyway, and then go into how we started using Threatlocker and why zero trust is not just a good idea, but a requirement. Sorry it took so long to upload these. I'm going to start uploading them more frequently, and I hope you enjoy.
I'm going to try something new today. Today's the 27th of February, 2022. It's in the morning. I'm out going for a walk with my dog Fiona. I've been doing this now for a few weeks, actually 6 weeks to be accurate. I started doing this more and more after I somehow hurt my foot. I don't really know what I did, but after running the Dallas Marathon in December of 2021, was kind of on a high and running more and more and more and more, and out on just a Tuesday jog with some friends, or run. Probably shouldn't say jog. I'll get beat up for saying the word jog. So on a Tuesday run with some friends, towards the end of that run, I felt like my foot was going to bust in half. It hurt so bad. Never really felt that way before. So I took about a week off and went out for another run. After that run, I felt like my foot was going to bust in half again. So then, later that day, I went into the office and could barely walk into the office. I was shuffling my feet, limping. It was just, in general, a really bad day. That's when I decided to make a doctor's appointment and just go ahead and have an x-ray. Well, they determined that it's possibly a stress fracture. So they asked me to take off about 4 weeks from running, which I did, because it hurt so bad. I went from being able to run, 14, 18 miles with ease to I couldn't run more than one with just pain and agony in my foot. So I was like, okay. So decided that since I'm going to take off 4 weeks, I went and had some plastic surgery that I had been contemplating doing to remove the bags from my eyes. Did that. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But when you do that, you basically can't do any high-impact sports for a hot minute. So anyway, that led me to find a new exercise of walking. So it's actually been quite relaxing. I found out that I really enjoy it. Whenever I would go walk the dog, it would usually be a quick walk around one block after I finished my, 6 to 8 mile run, or if it was the weekend, 14 or plus mile run. And the dog would always look at me like, man, is that it? Is that all we're going to do? So I'm sure she appreciates it a lot more that I hurt my foot. Um, Downside is that it takes a long time. I don't know if it's a downside, but it does take a long time to walk a mile. So slowly but surely, I upped my walk to a mile. On the weekends, I try to get 3 miles in, but it does take a long time because she stops at least once a minute to sniff something. It's the greatest thing she's ever sniffed in her entire life, and then moves on, and then we walk a little bit more. Anywho, um, that's how I started this adventure with walking. Sure, that's quite interesting, and the story is so riveting. Anywho, my goal for this is to kind of share some of my life as a business owner in IT for an MSP in Dallas, and just when I go for these walks to kind of share my most recent experiences to hopefully, help make your life maybe a little better if you're going through similar experiences. Just let you know that maybe there's someone else out there that's thinking the same way, and maybe you can take some of what I'm saying and make it better, um, and not make the same mistakes, or just make whatever I've done a little better. So, in case you're listening to this in the future, Russia declared war on the Ukrainian people, government, whatever you want to call it. It's slowly turning into the people, and it's really kind of how do I say this? It's really made our market nervous. Of course, there's some people out there that say everything's going to be fine. For me, though, we're going through a lot of security stuff. Russia's always been top of mind whenever you think of phishing attacks and ransomware attacks. So the sheer thought of them declaring war on another country, physical war on another country, and what may come out of that as far as cybersecurity threats has always been a concern. So our vendors right now haven't noticed any uptick. At least our MDR vendor hasn't noticed any uptick in suspicious activities any more than usual, which is super good. Um, Phishing attacks are up about 300%. Everybody's really worried, though, after sanctions have been put on Russia, and as we start tightening the noose, so they say, on Russia and their activities, in protest of their activities, everybody is starting to worry about retaliation against anyone really in NATO or anyone tightening the noose around Russia, that they may send out new cyber attacks, just to wreak havoc, not even necessarily to extort funds and ransomware, but the latest was on Thursday when they first attacked Ukraine, that they sent out a wiper malware that just uses a well-known tech tool. I've used it before. It's actually a really good tool, but they used that in conjunction with some other things to wipe computers from government websites. I've also heard it was bank institutions, I think, and then medical institutions. And it's just to destroy data, just like a missile. Destroy the building, destroy the data, make your life complicated, basically just giving you the middle finger. So the thought of a nation state waging a war against our nation, or where it would really hit home for us is the businesses that we serve, can be a bit overwhelming at times and a little bit scary. While I don't think that a nation state's going to directly target any one of our clients, that's not to say that they're just going to start throwing stuff out there in the wild that looks damn good because they're a nation state. They're not some some dude running a small business trying to collect money with ransomware. They're actually purposefully trying to destroy, and and they have a lot of cash behind them to do it. So it's going to be some of the best looking attacks that we have ever seen, or have yet to see, I should say. Good news though, our team just recently finished deploying a zero trust application called Threatlocker. So that was one of our initiatives to have that done by the end of February 2022 for all of our clients. And just as far as a scope goes, we're a small MSP. I consider ourselves small. Maybe some of you won't, but we manage about a little over 600 endpoints at about 40, 45 clients in total. So anyone that we manage, a PC or server, we deploy this tool to. Honestly, we're pretty scared to deploy this tool. The part that we were the most scared of is this tool going to lock everybody out of what they can do for work? And then what we're going to do is get a bunch of phone calls, and nobody can do any work. So it actually didn't turn out like that, which is pretty cool. It actually turned out that the program, when you install it, you set it into a learning state. So it learns everything that's installed on the system. It has some built-in applications so it already knows how these applications run. Let's say 7-zip, which is a compression tool. It has a built-in application for that. So it knows all of the hashes, all of the different processes and things that 7-zip does on a PC. So you can add that program to your list of applications, and then you can create a policy to allow that for certain clients or all of your clients. But let's say, for instance, somebody goes out and buys a printer, and they go home and it's 8 o'clock at night, and they're super happy about getting this printer, and it's Friday, and now they try to download the driver for that printer, and they never installed that printer before, and they didn't tell us about it. Well, they're going to get a prompt on their screen asking them, hey, we need to approve this because we've never seen this thing before. And this is actually a real life example. So that person sent us a support ticket after hours, and the person on call called him back and got it all squared away. But the key takeaway to all this is that people aren't going to be able to do things off the cuff or on the fly as fast as they had been able to in the past. And that was really our biggest concern. Man, how pissed off are people going to be now that they can't go out to the store, buy a printer and install it at 8 o'clock at night on a Friday, or, they want to download a video game because they're sick of doing something. So they want to download Steam and play a video game because, I don't know, somebody told them that it was really cool. The other part of this program, though, is they have an optional support. I don't know what you would call it. An optional support module called Cyber Heroes, and we do subscribe to that, where they'll auto approve well-known software. And then you can also create a list of things that you want them to approve. Like if somebody wants to download, I don't know, let's say Adobe Reader, and they've never had Adobe Reader. Even though everybody knows what Adobe Reader is, it would be blocked if it wasn't installed on their system. So they can, in that same prompt that pops up, asking them that they need to approve the running of the program, they can go ahead and type in what it is and why they're doing it, and the cyber heroes will go out and either approve it or escalate it to us. In the case of the printer, they escalated it to us. Actually, no, they didn't escalate it to us. The client just called us, which is totally cool too. They didn't put in the request. So that was our biggest fear with that program. It's actually turned out really well. Our biggest thing that makes me sleep at night, the biggest bonus I feel for all of us is that, let's say somebody clicks on an email, it tries to download something, and unbeknownst to them, it's a PowerShell script or an Excel with a macro or a bat file, you name it, JavaScript. It tries to download something on their computer, hell, even a rubber ducky. Let's say they find a USB key on the street and they're like, sweet, I got a USB key. And then they go plug it in their computer and it auto runs a PowerShell script or something. Threatlocker should pop up a message and say, hey, we've never seen this on your computer before. Is this something you really want to run? And even if they did request to run it through Cyber Heroes would be like, this looks like a script we've never seen before, so it's not on our list of approved things, and you haven't put it in your list of custom applications, so we're going to escalate it to support, and then we'll get it and go, do you even know what you're doing? Do you even know this thing is trying to run? You sure? And we can stop it there. So that makes us sleep at night, knowing that that is there. Biggest takeaway, though, is that people need to slow down and people can get high emotions, especially with co-managed clients where they have an on-site IT and they're not used to having to get approval for something that they want to install, or maybe they're trying to create a script that they're trying to run and they don't want to necessarily ask for approval. So, but we haven't actually had that happen. So I guess it's just a fear, that an unwarranted fear. Everybody seems to be really understanding. They know why it's there. They know what it is, and they've accepted it. So, anyway, that's my long story about Threatlocker, and why we chose it and why we thought it would be a good idea. Not the cheapest program, but it is something that you get what you pay for. I think that's about it for today. We're almost done with our little walk. I'm going to go ahead and create a video later with a really short PowerPoint to send to our point of contacts clients. If you run an MSP and you're listening to this around this time, I would strongly recommend doing something similar. You want to be the expert. Don't send them something else someone else created. I mean, you can, but you want to be the expert. You want to put your face in front of the client, and you want to be the one talking to them and not someone else talking about security risks and current events. Have a great weekend. Hope you're having a great week. And as always, take care.